For those of you who don't know about Oregon Save Our Schools, it's a rapidly growing, now about a year-old advocacy group for better public education for our children and youth. We're totally volunteer run. We're fueled only by our own energy. We will not take money from anyone else. And what we would like to do today is to provide some observations on the past work as a way then to address some observations on your future work. And I'll be frank, we have some serious concerns about two things: the substance of the proposals that have been brought to you and some adopted, and the processes that have been used in developing those proposals. First, I would like Joan Yapvin to address our concerns about substance, then we'll turn to concerns about process, and then some observations about our work ahead. And Steve Buell will close with a set of recommendations to you. Joanne.
Excuse me, before we begin, would every speaker please identify yourself?
Yes.
I think it's only fair, since I'm going to question the wisdom of the board today, that I do give a brief summary of my qualifications to do so. I'm a retired educator after 45 years as a teacher, an elementary principal, and a district superintendent. I have won awards, among them the Wisconsin Elementary Principal of the Year and University of Wisconsin Distinguished Alumni Award. I was a member of the National Reading Panel. I was president of the National Council of Teachers of English. I am a published author of books, scholarly articles, newspaper commentaries, letters to the editor, one of which was in the Oregonian this morning. That's just coincidence. Although I'm retired, I am very active in the Save Our Schools movement because I am deeply concerned about what has happened or is happening to our public schools. We have observed that the Oregon Investment Education Board has passed some motions and is considering motions and movements that are of concern to us. We're concerned about the prospect of what has happened, which seems mostly to be concerned with management and process and setting up various functions, but hasn't dealt, in our opinion, with the real issues that are facing us today. 40% of Oregon's children live in poverty, and our schools at this point are not capable of dealing with the problems that these children bring or the high percentage that we have of children who are English language learners. I have been doing first-hand observation and work in a high poverty school not far outside of, well, it's actually within the Portland boundaries, but it's not part of the Portland Public Schools, where 25% of the children there are homeless. And it is a school in which 100% of the children are on free or reduced lunch. So we would like to encourage the board to take a more active role in doing something directly for the children, the teachers who are trying to maintain their schools. And it is basically a funding problem, but it is also a top-down management problem that does not seem to be concerned with the size of classrooms and the fact that teachers do not have the autonomy anymore to teach as they know best to do. We want more input from teachers, from parents, from local communities into what is going on in school, and less top-down dictates of how schools should be run and of how education should be facilitated for the children who are there. So thank you.
And our observation is that this top-down mentality was reflected in the very first big policy action you took, the adoption of a recommendation to the legislature, which they passed, for an unfunded mandate to do achievement compacts. The second observation is you reviewed the waiver request that was sent in to the federal government, in which Oregon has made an unbelievable number of promises to the federal government. Again, those promises are generated by a top-down philosophy.